Yes, well, good evening. The Hooves today in Sydney were on at Canterbury Park. The track played, as I said, the last two meetings at Canterbury. The track is starting to play fair. It's not the greyhound track that we were seeing there for a while, and you can come from behind, along the rail, in between them, around them, lead on the fence. So as I say, the track is starting to play fairly fair at Canterbury. The track today was given out dead, upgraded to good. The rail was in the normal position. The first race, there was no breeze, but then after that it picked up and there was a steady nor'easter during the day, which didn't have any effect on the leaders. The first race, I've got to go back to bookie school. There's a trick to this booking that I'm not a jerry to. I'm from the old school, but the new school is the new school of booking. You've got to bet less than 100. You offer the punters under 100 every race, and you just keep on betting them, and you just win. It's as simple as that. That's all you do. It's just picking up. The first race for the robots, there was a few robots there today, I suppose. 101.9. It was fairly skinny for them, but in the marketplace a bit less, about 98%. And the winner here was a firmer. I'm talking about Ferment, and it sat outside the leader, Ferment. It was $13 given. I gave 13 into $10 taken into about $9 Ferment. Very well backed. And I'll tell you what, it wasn't a bad win. It sat outside the leader in the field of five. Eye of the World from down south in Melbourne. It came up and it went straight to the lead. It sat outside it, the winner Ferment, and it was far too strong for it and won for home. Father Schofield, he was on the Avery here, Lily Bolero. He missed the kick slightly, and then he had a bumping duel down the back straight. He wanted to get away from the 18 pence. He said, no, I don't want to stay on the fence. He tried to push Sir Burris out of the way, but Catwalk Corey, he wouldn't have anything to do with that at all. As I say, all Father Schofield was intent on doing, instead of going back to the rail, and it looked all right to me, he could have slid up straight up behind the leader on the fence, but no, he wanted to bump all the... did he have a ride in the last race, Father Schofield? No, he didn't. So it was sweet for us all to drive home. I'm glad I wasn't in the traffic where you'd get flattened by him. He'd left before the last race, so he was long gone. We were all safe, but he just wanted to bump down the back straight. He knew what he was doing. Good luck to him, whatever the story was. But the favourite, it finished up running along the fence. Even Mark Sheen said the favourite will run last, turning for home, but it showed a bit of fight down this straight and finished up running third, but it was beaten easy, beaten 3.3 lengths. We put it up $1.80, $1.70 even. I got out to $1.90, and that was laid on. It started at $1.80, 5-4 on favourite, and the figures were no good, as I say. It was only 98 in the first race. Number one was the runner. If you gave $6.50, you could lay it grand business, but it was $4.20, a 13-4 chance, out to $6.50, back into $6. How could you possibly give it? And it was very disappointing. It sat back at the tail of the field on a good solid pace, and it finished up running fourth. The second race, this was a doozy here. This was a rip snorter. This is how you win bookmaking. You are on the screen for the robots. The poor robots, they most probably won on it, 95.7% on the screen. But in the marketplace, there was 90% given. Now, you wouldn't see it. You saw $6 as a fluctuation, 5-1 about the winner, Dothraki, but there was $7 given in the outer and $6.50 on the fence, and it started 5-2 second pick. It went straight to the lead today, Dothraki. It was hard to lay it at Wyong. when it got in between runners, but it went fairly ordinary there. And it went straight to the front today, and it led all the way. Running second was the favourite, Aussies Love Sport. Oi, oi, oi. They isn't it a beauty? Oi, oi, oi. It was $2.30 out to $3. Very hard to lay of Aussies Love Sport. It had the blinks on today, and it was a little bit slow to move. It was fairly one-paced. It kept on plugging away along the fence. It only failed by 0.2 of a length, but had every possible chance. And the others were a little bit disappointing. They raced in pairs down the back, and they walked home. They came home, I think, in 37-1. I'm not too sure, but it was they walked home, and the runners from behind couldn't even run the leader down. So it doesn't say much for them, and it really doesn't say much for the form out of that race. I think they're fairly average. I'm glad I never paid all the section for Aussies Love Sport. The figures were hopeless, as I say. We only gave 90%, and the winner was 6s to 5-2. They knew what they were doing there, I tell you what. The third race, there was 102.6 on the screen, but only 94% in the marketplace. Now, the winner, believe it or not, Cafe Lady, it started $5.50 on the fence. It opened up $4.80. Now that was snapped up. The $4.80 was taken, the $4.60 was taken, and at one stage of the betting it was $4.40. $4.40 Cafe Lady. It started $5.50. These were the flux. Going back to race 2, this is how we got to 90. The winner, Dothraki, it was $4.40 out to $7 into $3.50. Now, Pasali, who ran 195 miles last, it was a stablemate to the favourite, Aussies Love Sport. It was $5 out to $8.50. It got galloped on, and it was eased down and is going for a spell to that after today. Aussies Love Sport was $2.30 out to $3. Environmental was $7 into $6. It was $8 into $7. Star Wars was 26 out to 30. The next runner, Madam Fly, was $16 out to 30. And Fine Diamond, well, you wouldn't have seen it, but $8 was given about Fine Diamond. It went from $4.60 out to $8 back into $7. Now we get to the third race. These were the flux. This is how we got 94%. Number one, Ulona, went from $18 or $17, a 16 to 1 chance, out to 26, back into about $18. Now the next runner, it would have been the biggest result for the captains, Havana Ray. It didn't have a price and only failed by 0.2 of a length. You rode this one all right, Father Schofield. It was $3.50 out to $5.50. 5-2 to 9-2 would have been a skinner for all bookies. Circle of Power, it only went from $12 out to 18. Saurus went from $4.60 out to $5.50, back into $5. A bit hard to get at the death. Al's Gold, it was $10 out to 13, back into $11. Mercia, it started favourite. How was it going to run 1,550 metres? We put it up $3.50, equal favourite. It got out to, you wouldn't see it. I think the best luck was $3.80, but the bookies gave $4.20, believe it or not, and it started. I think they returned at $2.80. I was $3 and still laying at the death. $3 it started, 2 to 1 chance, but we gave 13 to 4. And the winner, as I say, Cafe Lady, at one stage was into 440 after opening 480, but started 550, 94%. And, well, the captains, we won on it. Don't you worry about that. We'll give you 94 and still win. We know the winners, see. Now, that's the difference. Now, race 4, There was 102 on the screen, and in the marketplace, no, what am I talking about? There was 106.7 on the screen. Fat. Oh my God, was it fat? But we only gave 100 in the marketplace. We played swai with the punters here, and there was a big plonk in this race very late. I'm talking about Springs Reward. Wouldn't have won if it cut across the middle, dead set. Springs Reward, trained by the Hawks Cam, ridden by Catwalk Corey. Now, the winner of this race was Bonetta, which showed the true colours today, Bonetta. It was ridden by James McDonald. He took off and he just rounded them up halfway up the straight and won easily by 2.3 lengths. Leading in this race was the favourite. She's a stalker. Very, very disappointing. Went straight to the lead. She's a stalker. On the bit all the way, travelling well, and got clear turning for home. Was entitled to. There was no pressure up front, and but all of a sudden, Bonetta, it just sprouted wings and came down the outside and beat it by 2.3 lengths. Bonetta in this race, if they put up 5-4 Bonetta, if they run this race again, I would be taking it. It sounds crazy, but I'd take 5-4 about it, and it started $6. Now these were the flux in this race. Silk Pins, it went from $5 out to $7. She's a stalker, opened up 2-1 favourite, got out to $3.40, back into $3.20, but then out to $3.50 again, into about $3.30 when they jumped. Queen's Elect was 21 to 26. Rebel Dancer was $8.50 out to $10, back into 9. Pretty Famous, 15 to out to 19. You wouldn't see it, but Snowline was 30 out to 101. The next runner, Bonetta, it went from $4.20 out to $6, Bonetta. And the first starter, Springs Reward, put up very safely at $4.60, got out to $5. You wouldn't see that. And it only started 5-2. It was extremely well backed. Someone had 4,500 on it with me at one stage of the betting. It was backed as if at one stage there, very late, as if there was no settling. Anyway, as I say, run this race again, and Bonetta would be a short-priced favourite. It vaulted in. Race 5, oh sorry robots, only 98.5 on the screen, but in the marketplace there was less. There was 94. You wouldn't expect it to be more, of course. Now, in this race, these were the flux. Now, Princess Layla, it went from $2.40 out to $2.50, taken into $2.40, but at the death, I was $3.20. I think it might have only been returned $3 or something, but I was $3.20 at the death, and it was extremely hard to lay at the finish of betting. Reby Regina went from $12 out to $15, back into $13. Baranski was $7 out to $8, back into $7. Shoe Swap had every possible chance. They raced in pairs here, sort of thing. Every runner had their chance. Shoe Swap was $4.60 out to $5.50, back into $4.60. Oh My Papa, it was well backed. It was announced that it was going to be ridden closer today. Oh My Papa, it couldn't get. It sat in second last position. It finished up running second. It was $9 into, believe it or not, Oh My Papa, into $5. Extremely well backed. Caesar's Princess, the winner, it went from $11 out to $12 taken, back into, I think it started $12. Moss Money was $9 out to $12, and it started that price, only about 94%. And it didn't lead Princess Layla. It was taken straight to the front. Caesar's Princess, it had the blinkers on today, and it was ridden by Father Schofield, and Father Schofield oh, he rode a good race here. He went straight to the front, and he really went along at a really nice solid clip. And Caesar's Princess, it just kept on going. The favourite, Princess Layla, who sat third on the fence, it was gone before the turn, and it ran last, beaten 6.1 lengths. That drift in the market very late was a very good guide to its chances, how it was going to perform. It got a check at the start. It was always a doubt at the 1550, and it had a little bit of a respiratory noise after the race, and also a fairly poor recovery rate. So it might go for a spell. We don't know. But the winner was the best run. It set a fast pace up front, and it stuck on. Now race 6, there was 101.4 on the screen, and in the marketplace only 96. Oh, well, you'd win for sure if you gave 96. Now this race was won by a runner called Tester Rhythm. You wouldn't see it on the flux, but $13 was given about this runner, and it only started $8.50. You run this race over again, and you get a few different results. There was only 3.9 lengths between the 11 of them when they hit the line, and it was given a beautiful run, the winner, by Bold Blake Shin, and it sat in fourth position. Trying to cross them up front was Number One Gun, who's very, very ordinary. It couldn't cross Z Line, who kept on kicking up on the inside of it, and Z Line would have been a fantastic result for the captains, because it was 21. I was 26 when they jumped, but never put its name in the ledger, and it kept on hunting up on the inside of the leader, Number One Gun, and it just failed by 0.1 of a length. As I say, he gave it a good ride, Tester Rhythm, Bold Blake Shin, and he was able to bob it on the line. And coming from about fifth position, I've got to watch this replay again, was Bello. It seemed to have its chance, and up sitting in about fifth position, having every possible chance as well, was Reunite. It could have been trapped a little bit wide. I'm not too sure. But the winner was extremely well backed. Hossamore, well, it's going up to Brisbane, Hossamore, for the Magic Millions, and today was a lovely pipe opener for it. It made up a lot of ground in the straight. It was back in about second last position with the second pick, Number One Gun. Not Number One Gun, High on Believing. They settled well back in the field, but they made up plenty of ground. Hossamore copped a bit of a check at the start. That could have been the reason it was so far back, and it was held up slightly in the straight. It did make up plenty of ground. How we got the 96%, these were the flux. The Zakynthos imprints went from $12 out to 18 back into 17. Bello went from 10 to 15 back to 14, or even 13. Happy Finish, who was also held up, it was 31 into 26 back to 31. Number One Gun, it went from $8 or $10 or $9 out to 12. High on Believing was $6 out to $6.50 back into 5. No more for the favourite. Now, Hossamore, it opened up $3.20, got to $4 every board. I laid 6 for 2 at one stage, plus a stack of other bets. I don't know what price was returned, but I was $3.80 when they jumped. Tester Rhythm, the winner, as I've told you, was $13 given, $8.50 started. Southern Sky didn't have a price, 30 out to 51. Likewise, Z Line, 21 or 17 out to 26. Time to Plunder, well backed, $8 or $9 out to $10 taken into about $9.50. And Reunite, well backed, $8 out to 11, back into about 9. And as I say, the winner got the breaks, and there could have been, as I say, run the race over again and you get a few different results. Race 7, well, on the screen there was 98%, but in the marketplace only 95. And how in the hell did Travolta win? Well, I'll tell you how it won. it was well. The camp would have known there wasn't much pace in this race. Well, everyone knew that, and they went straight to the lead with Travolta, which was the obvious map from barrier one, and it strolled down the back straight, having a picnic up in front. And I think even Bold Blake Shin would admit this, that he took off at the wrong time. Instead of taking off at the 1,000 metre mark, all he had to do was wait until the leader hit the bend going out of the back straight and take off then, and he would have zapped around the field, because Fortune 500 has a better turn of foot than most of the runners in this race, and there are only 8 of them, and he would have taken off at that point, gone around and hit the lead before the bend, and I think would have kept on going. And it's very easy now, of course, it's very easy now, riders in the stand, and it would have most probably won the race. It finished up running 5th, and it was only beaten about 1.5 lengths. But he took off at the 1,000 metre mark, Bold Blake Shin, and when they went out of the back straight, he was 1.5 lengths clear, and then all of the other runners, including the winner, were off the bit and turning for home. He was a good 2.5 lengths, one stage 3 lengths, but 2.5 lengths clear of Travolta, grinding away again. And when they flattened out, it kept on grinding Travolta, and it was able to win by 0.4 of a length from Marden. I'll tell you the flux in a minute, you won't believe them. From Marden, and the top weight, who was smothered back on the fence, and it missed the kick a bit, Successio, it was only beaten 1/2 a length. The margins were 0.4 by 0.5. Now, these were the flux in this race. Successio, well, it only went from $8 out to $13. Marden, now it would have been a big result for all of the captains. All of the captains were cheering for Marden. Go Marden, go Marden. It only went from 2 to 1, $3 out to $5.50. Not a bad blower, and failed by only 0.4 of a length. 2s to 9 to 2. Now the next winner, Travolta, they danced around to back this. I'll give you the tip. $4.60 into $3.50 at one stage, and I laid it, and then it got back out to $4, believe it or not. But then at the finish, they took the $4 to $3.80 to $3.70 to $3.60, and they killed you. They pinned you to the floor for the $3.50, and it only started 3:30, and it struck the lottery in winning. Anyway, the next runner, Martinist, it was extremely well backed. $8 out to $10, only started $6.50. The next runner, Kakuri, well, I think the best luck might have only been $6. A blind man could have got $7 about it, 6 to 1. It went from $6 out to $7, back into 6. Might have even started $6.50. Planetarium was $10 into $9. Fortune 500 was $9, or even $9 out to 11, back into $10. Hard to get, might have only started 9. And Watertight was $16 out to 21, about 95%. And the lucky mugs who backed the favourite, Travolta, got the cash. Now we came to the last race, and unfortunately the favourite bled, Gasquet. But everybody in the world will see the run of the third horse in this race, War Charm, ridden by Bold Blake Shin. It was last turning for home, and it was had nowhere to go. It copped a bit of a check at the start, War Charm, and it was held up 2 or 3 times down the straight. It only had to see some sort of daylight, and it would have just gone straight through the high diddle diddle and would have won. Well, what just would have won as far as he wanted to. Stride 1.5 strides past the poster was a length in front, but anyway, going straight to the front here was Gasquet. Now I think they returned Gasquet $2.50 best fluck. Well, I was $2.70 when they jumped. I must admit I was laying it, but well, Gasquet, we did see it last start at Canterbury when it struck the lottery in winning that day, and looked at the things. Seldom things are what they seem. Skim milk masquerades as cream. You have to look into these races, punters, when you're doing the form. It's just not facts and figures, you know. Now, Gasquet, of course, its chances were going to be enhanced when the obvious horse who was going to pressure it, not a dancer, it was announced that they were going to ride it off the pace if they could, but they couldn't. But by the same token, it never went really fast with Gasquet. Gasquet went straight to the lead, and they couldn't restrain Not a Dancer, and it sat outside the favourite, and they rolled along, but they didn't go 100 miles an hour. And who was sitting right behind the favourite on the fence, getting a cosy run from barrier 3, was Mighty Obvious, and it was Mighty Obvious was going to get a run from that alley right behind the favourite. I'll just have a drink of whiskey here, hang on. Cheers, everybody, and good health as well. Excuse me. Anyway, Mighty Obvious, it was found in the marketplace. It opened up $15 and got out to 21, and it was taken. It only started $19, fairly hard to get, and it snuck inside the favourite, who unfortunately bled, so that didn't help it at all, and it was able to win by 0.3 of a length or whatever the margin was, and beating the favourite and getting through in between runners when they hit the line to nose out Tahitian Black out of third place was the unlucky War Charm. But War Charm will do that to you. Something had to run on this race. It'll be well in the market next start, War Charm. I'm not saying it can't win, but it will most probably be under its right price, even though it should have won this race very easily. Getting caught wide in the run were a couple of runners, Kiranata and also My Vegas. The flux in this race, I must admit, this was all right, this race, even at the $2.70. On the screen, it said a fat Ballarat. It was 111.8 on the screen, and in the marketplace, there was about 103% at the top odds. Now, number one, they didn't miss it. Capers, it opened up $16 and got out to 21, only started 12. You wouldn't see the next runner, Kiranata. Top Fluck was $31, but it was 21 to 61. The next runner, Superior Instinct, it was $13, a 12 to 1 chance out to 26. The next runner, Tahitian Black, the best fluck was $6, a 5 to 1 chance, but a blind man could have got 7. It was 6 out to 7, back into $6, back out to 7, or even $6.50 at the finish. Gasquet went from $2.20, 25, a 5 to 4 chance. I was $2.70 when they jumped. My Vegas was 51 to 71. Not a Dancer, $8.50 out to $12, back into 10. Della Bombell, well backed, $17 into about 13 or 14. Mighty Obvious, I said, it was spec. They found it at the 21, only started 19 after opening up 15. Imelda May, it was back to the finish from 16 out to 21. It got to back into about $19 or 18. War Charm, went up $9, got out to 12, and it was taken at the death back into about $11, $10. And But I'm Ready, it was 17 to 21, and the bottom one, Kimberly Kid, was always $51. Um, and when they hit the line, there was only 4.2 lengths between them. As I said, Wall Charm should have won easily. That was the day at Canterbury. Bet your losing figures, and I'll bet you we can win. Now come to the races. Um, you can't lose if you back them all. I tell you now, that's all you got to do. Uh, and Canterbury, I wish they'd have Canterbury on every Saturday instead of racing there midweek, instead of having Randwick and Warwick Farm and these places, because it's a good betting atmosphere there. Plus, the bookies bookies offer losing figures every race, and it's just a matter of how much everybody wins. Bookies and punters, everyone who goes to the races can win. So we'll have a good new year. We'll see you at Gosford on New Year's Eve, and see you at Rosehill on New Year's Day. Happy New Year.